Was he trying to fake because he was kneed?
Because he looks at the ref like, look, oh, I know. And then he's out and watches what he does.
Hey gang, so Rodolfo Bellato is getting a lot of heat online. Everybody is saying that he took a soccer dive against Paul Craig when he took an illegal up kick. But I want to play the devil's advocate here. I don't think he took a dive, and I want you to hear me out. So a lot of people, when they get knocked out, they're going to continue to do whatever they're doing right before they get knocked out. And then when they kind of come to, they're going to keep doing that. And that's very common. You see that all the time with referees or with fighters that continue to fight the referee, which is what Rodolfo did. Now, he also protested the illegal up kick. As you can see, when he's falling down, he's like, what? And then he falls straight back, and then he goes out. And then he kind of does that karate jerk back into life. And then he starts fighting the ref. And there's been a lot of criticism about that.
Allegedly, I say allegedly because this is some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my entire life. Let's take a look. He gets hit and then immediately does this palms up protest, like, what was that? That's against the rules. But then he remembers that he's supposed to be unconscious and flops to his back. Okay, maybe that shot really did rock him and it was like a slow reaction to it. No, this is my favorite part. He flashes awake and then immediately goes into like defensive grappling mode. But then as the ref approaches, he still puts his palms up like that's against the rules kind of protest. But then he decides he wants to do that thing where we've seen before where someone gets knocked out and they're so messed up they start grappling with the referee. So he wants to do that, but he doesn't really sell it. Like if you thought you were still in the fight and you thought the guy approaching you was the guy you're supposed to fight and needed to start grappling with, you wouldn't put your palms up like that's against the rules. Okay, now we're grappling. It's almost like he forgot cameras were on him at all times.
I think that because he was in a fight and he also went to protest, when he comes back to, that's exactly what he does again. He starts trying to fight and he starts trying to protest. And it looks a little weird. I'll give it that. It does look a little weird. But I think it's because he was in some kind of a phantom zone. Some kind of reality between consciousness and unconsciousness. A lot of times fighters, when they're knocked out, they're totally knocked out or they're awake. And sometimes you get the in-between ones, like you watch those world star fight videos and they're like doing this. But I think he was like in between those, and that's why it looks a little weird. I saw a street fight video where this guy, he was in the middle of a fight and all of a sudden he turned and he saw his phone on the ground and he completely forgot he was in a fight and he's just like, I need to get my phone. And then of course he gets beat up. But when you're watching, it looks ridiculous. It looks like, what is this guy doing? What is he thinking? Well, the thing is, he's not thinking. His brain is in like a animalistic protection kind of retardation mode because of the lack of oxygen and the cutting off from the rest of the system. And I think Rodolfo was in this weird way because let's look at the motivation. Whenever there's an alleged crime, we always look at the motivation. So what is the motivation for Rodolfo to take a dive? He was winning the fight up until then. He was favored to win the fight. It is a good matchup for him. And to fake that and embarrass yourself that much, especially with the ref fighting and the weirdness of it, to get a no contest seems kind of ridiculous, especially for a professional fighter.
What did you make of the way he went down, right? Like, I'm be candid about it. We just watched the replay.
Yep.
He was awake on the way down,
Yep.
and then when he hit the canvas, he was apparently incredibly knocked out. It's not a reaction I would have expected from a blow that I thought landed more on the neck than the chin.
Yep.
Curious your take on that reaction.
Yeah, you know, a few people have messaged me regarding this and they're saying that it looked a bit floppish, like he was maybe hamming it up. Maybe, like, I don't want to think any fighter is looking for an easy way out in this sport. We're all fighters, we're all in the UFC, the pinnacle of our careers, and we're looking to put on performances. But I can see where people are looking at it and think it looks a bit floppish, like he's maybe taking a dive. I don't want to think that, but I'll need to watch it back. It's raw at the moment.
Feel you. Did you speak with him afterwards? All respect, I'm sure, but did you speak to him? Did you get a gaze on how he was feeling at that particular moment as well?
Yeah, you know, I was in the neutral corner. I was looking over and I was seeing him kind of like flopping and like he was trying to wrestle the referee, and then he was dazed. So I'm not sure, but when I spoke to him, he seemed pretty compos mentis. He was like, I don't know what happened. You know what? It's my fault as much as it is his fault. This is like, we shouldn't be looking at to persecute him if he's taking the knee. It was an illegal move.
So again, that's awesome on Paul Craig there. Obviously, took responsibility for the illegal up kick. At the end of the day, it was illegal. There's a petition to get Rodolfo kicked out of the UFC for this dive. And is it possible that it was a dive? Yes. But is it possible? Is there a reasonable doubt that it wasn't a dive? And it just looks weird because not every knockout is the same. A lot of them are, but if you ever watch like World Star Fight Comp videos of knockouts, some of them are a little weird, and I think this is just one of those weird ones. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, because if he's not faking it, having petitions to get you kicked out of the UFC, having everyone online, like everyone, all the fighters, all the comments, everybody against you saying that you dived because you have this super embarrassing looking weird knockout, would suck. So I want to play devil's advocate here. I think that as he was going down, he was losing connection with his brain. He went to protest. He went out, he came out, he was in between, so he was trying to fight and protest at the same time, and that's why it looks really weird. Anyways, I just wanted to give my thoughts. I saw everybody dogging on him, and I just wanted to provide a counter claim, if you will. So let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think it's 100% a dive? Would you bet your house on it? Would you bet everything you own that it's a dive? Or do you think there is some doubt there and it wasn't and it just looks a little odd? Anyways, thanks again, guys.